School districts across the country face budget cuts just about every year, and teachers often step in to close the gap. In the 2012-2013 school year, public school teachers spent $1.6 billion of their own money on classroom supplies. But one charity found a way that anyone can help make up that difference. Adriana Diaz is at a school in Chicago where they see the results firsthand. Adriana, good morning.
Good morning. This classroom at Dawes Elementary School looks like many others in America, but it's these materials that both students and teachers say make learning come alive, and they got here in an unusual way.
Science, technology, engineering, math.
These Chicago fifth graders are getting a hands-on lesson in engineering by launching catapults. Amani Abu Habsa is their teacher.
The kids will analyze their data, they'll graph their data, and they'll redesign their experiment. So that whole cycle of the engineer design process is reinforced through this activity.
But the catapult kits weren't purchased by the school system or even anyone who lives in Chicago. They were a gift made through a crowdfunding website called Donors Choose, an online charity where teachers post classroom materials they need, and anyone can help cover the cost.
It's a lot more than we ever dreamed of.
Charles Best started Donors Choose 14 years ago during his first year as a public school teacher in the Bronx.
My colleagues and I would spend a lot of our own money on copy paper and pencils. And I just figured there were people out there who'd want to help teachers like us if they could see exactly where their money was going.
Today, more than half of all public schools in America have at least one teacher who's created a project on Donors Choose. And in response, 1.5 million people have given more than $250 million.
People not only want to support public schools, but people warm to this idea of being a philanthropist, even though they might have only $5 to spare.
$5 or $384,000. That's what Google and Staples donated this summer to fund every outstanding project in Chicago public schools.
Congratulations to all of you.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel made the announcement at Dawes Elementary.
It's helpful for specific teachers in specific classrooms with a specific project, and that's a good thing.
Like many school districts across the country, Chicago schools are working to do more with less. Last year, officials closed more than 50 schools and announced they would lay off thousands of teachers.
Do you think a model like a partnership with Donors Choose is the future of education?
It's a means towards something. It's helpful. Do I think it's the future? No. I think it's a tool in the toolbox.
What's our variable in this experiment?
A tool Charles Best hopes can spur policy change.
It really starts with just listening to teachers.
But listening to teachers doesn't increase money available for budgets.
Well, there we think that there's nothing like sunlight to mobilize and energize citizens to demand change of their elected officials.
To do that, Donors Choose is making their internal data public. Now anyone can see what teacher requests come from which schools.
If we can show the world that there are students in all sorts of communities who don't have the materials they need for a great education, that's going to be the first major step to doing something about it.
Once supplies get to schools, students write thank you cards like this one written by Daisy, whose class got a 3D printer. She says, "I'm so excited to use a 3D printer to make fossils." Sharon?
Oh, what a great idea.
What a great thing to make with a 3D printer.
Yeah, right. Smart girl.
Seriously.